Good morning, kids, and today we're checking out a brand new video from Conniex about what if the Digimon Data Squad warped Digivolve. Now, we kind of already know what most of the forms would be because, well, Bandai Namco. But either way, let's see what this mega fan could say for these mega evolutions. That was pretty good.
You loved the Adventure Warps in November, you loved the Tamers Warps in December, and
Yes, we
now
did.
in January it is time for our final Warp Digivolution video. And today I'm going to explore what might happen if the Digimon Data Squad partners warp Digivolved.
Oh yeah.
What is up, digital companions? My name is Khan EX, and I'm not leaving YouTube like anyone else is this month, but I am ending this Warp Digivolution series here, at least for now. This was a really fun idea, and as a reminder, this was inspired by a Twitter conversation I had with Duggard a while back, where he pointed out to me that maybe the reason that Metal Garurumon goes from the quadrupedal Garurumon to the bipedal Were Garurumon, and then back to quadrupedal, is that originally in Adventure, Gabumon and Agumon warp Digivolve to their mega stages, almost skipping a stage. Now, while of course literally Warp Digivolution just means a Digimon skipping from one stage to the next, this is just a fun thought experiment. That if a Digimon were to warp Digivolve from a level like Rookie or Champion, could that have a potential difference on its mega stage, instead of conventionally Digivolving through the ladder? It is just a fun thought experiment, and you've really enjoyed it so far. Without further ado, let's get to it. Like with our other videos, we're looking for a mega that takes cues from the Rookie and the Champion. And for Marcus's Agumon, that's normally Geo Greymon, Shine Greymon actually wouldn't be the worst. But to me, Rise and Shine Greymon are so interconnected that I think Victory Greymon makes a lot more sense as the Warp Mega. It's also the Mega evolution of the Agumon from Digimon Next, the manga, and debuted in the Digimon Twin. So there is a connection between Victory Greymon and specifically the 2006 Agumon. The only thing I do dislike is it loses its punching focus, but so does Geo Greymon. The video that went out last week, the completely different evolutions for Adventure, I think I'd like to do that with Data Squad at some point, because I think we could really fine-tune it. Hell, Gaomon was one of my examples in that video. So yeah, I like Victory Greymon here. I think it's appropriate, and it'd be nice to see the Data Squad Agumon finally become Victory Greymon, like his Digimon Next manga counterpart did. Thomas's Gaomon normally becomes Gaugamon, and the Mega is Mirage Gaugamon, interestingly gaining a bipedal, more humanoid form at Mac Gaugamon. So if it warp Digivolved, in my opinion, it would be something more like Gaugamon, just like how Metal Garurumon is very similar to Garurumon. And the other Mega in Digimon Next, the Mega of the Gaomon in Digimon Next, is Zeed Garurumon, the counterpart to Victory Greymon. It works great, though. I'm never going to stop suggesting Fenrilugamon.
I'm sorry, but imagine that. It's like, alright, we need a new Mega Evolution for this Digimon. And what do we have? We have guns. We need something bigger than that. How about a big gun? Promotion. Like, I imagine that's how it's with. It's like, we got guns. We need something bigger. Bigger gun. Love it. Okay, I'm sorry.
I love it. So if you don't want me to use Victory and Zeed, Fenrilugamon would also be a fantastic Gaomon Warp Digivolution. Blue Wolf quadrupedal like Gaugamon, and one of its prevos is So Lugamon that feels like a cousin to Mac Gaugamon. That's great too, but let's stick with Zeed. And hey, you've gotten this far into January and you haven't seen a sponsor? Well, that's all changing, buckos, because today's video is sponsored by Bai.
Now we're going to take a quick cut. And we're back, moving on to Leleamon.
In this video, swooping back into Lalamon. Yoshino's Lalamon normally becomes Sunflowermon. And the interesting thing to me is the slightly less humanoid vibe of these two stages in comparison to Lilamon and Rosemon, the evolutions it becomes. Lilamon and Rosemon are these full-on feminine, and then Lalamon and Sunflowermon are just little creatures. Now I'm sure Bloom Lordmon would be good as a warp evolution from Lalamon, looks similar to Sunflowermon. It does present more masculine though, which I don't know if is a thing we should go with in the line. Of course, there could be a feminine Bloom Lordmon, who cares? But while Lalamon is kind of feminine, it's pink. Sunflowermon, well, gender is the least of its worries. Ceresmon Medium is another good pick, but I think if we chose Lotusmon, Ceresmon Medium, or Refleximon, we're just choosing the same concept as Rosemon, but in a different font.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cherrymon not being a Mega Digimon is so annoying, but it does often Digivolve to Puppetmon. No, and part of me does like Noble Pumpkinmon. Its head and body proportions feel kind of close to Sunflowermon, and it would be a good warp for Lalamon, but maybe not for for Yoshino's
Maybe.
partner, Lalamon. I'm just gonna go with the actual Ceresmon. While it isn't bipedal, that would be a nice bonus, but not essential for these warps. You know, we talked about that in other videos. It would employ the hovering of Lalamon and the leaf wings of Sunflowermon, which become less and less used as it conventionally digivolves to Lilamon, and eventually the wings just become a cape with Rosemon. As you can tell with these videos, with the completely different Digivolution videos,
I don't remember. Can it still fly with that cape? I honestly don't remember.
Becoming a fan of Digivolution branches that focus on a different element of a Digimon that gets abandoned, like Gabumon losing its horn when it becomes Garurumon. So the idea of fully leaning into flying plant life with Lalamon warp digivolving to Ceresmon and having some Sunflowermon influence, I think is wonderful. Keenan's Falcomon, this one was tough. Ravemon is kind of the perfect Falcomon. Mega Digimon, keeping the ninja theme going. But I do find it interesting that Peckmon becomes a little bit more bird-like, and then Yatagaramon again becomes more bird-like before reverting to a more humanoid again feel for the Mega, which is a consistent thing in Data Squad anyway. So I thought instead, what if we tried to keep some of that physicality of Peckmon going and had Falcomon's warp digivolution be Shongpongmon. Shongpongmon isn't a ninja or any kind of martial arts practicer, but it's obviously based on Chinese mythology, which would have some of that East Asian influence going, and I just think visually works quite nicely alongside Falcomon and Peckmon. You can see how Peckmon's little hair could transform into that big cloud beard of sorts. Running over to Kudamon, Commander Samson's partner, normally it becomes a Repamon and ends up at Kentaurismon. A no-brainer to me with a Kudamon and Repamon evolution line would be Mitamamon, which was the new Mega for Kudamon introduced in Digimon Re-Arise. I do want to acknowledge that a lot of people like Mitamamon as the pick for Renamon's warp digivolution, and I kind of didn't even address it at all in that video because I was already thinking about it for this Kudamon. Sometimes I think I get a little bit too ahead of myself and I think about something for another video, so I'll like almost sandbag it in a previous video and not even bring up the concept. So a lot of you very correctly
said it's almost like time after time is working on you as well.
Mitamamon would be a great Renamon warp digivolution, but I just really love it for Kudamon. I'm always going to take an opportunity to rep Digimon Re-Arise if I can, so Mitamamon for Samson's Kudamon. Homer's Kamemon conventionally becomes Guapamon, then Suijinmon, and finally Jumbo Gamemon. Trying to think of a warp digivolution from Kamemon that folds into Guapamon is very difficult. Contenders were Ibonwumon, Eldoradimon, both are quadrupedal, and that's not a deal breaker, but let me cook a little bit.
Sorry, Con. We're gonna have to let you cook after the break. And we're back. What you got cooking, Con?
Guapamon's theme is that it's a DJ Kappa with a CD in its head, and I was always a little bit sad that Suijinmon and Jumbo Gamemon kind of lost that, meaning that a Digimon like Sirenmon would actually be a pretty thematic Guapamon evolution, but obviously that's not a Mega level Digimon. For some reason, I want to go with Surfymon here. It might be growing up on the live-action Scooby-Doo movie, but DJing and surfing feel like a pure distillation of vacation vibes, and I can rock with that. So yeah, why not? Gamemon warp digivolves to Surfymon. Sue me. Closing in on the end here, we've got the two Pawn Chessmon, black and white, partnered with Miki and Megumi. The simple answer here is they have to become Queen Chessmon and King Chessmon. There just are no other chess Digimon, and we didn't technically see them in the show anyway.
Okay, hold on. I gotta say this. Why is it that King Chessmon looks just like a regular Pawn Chessmon, but now dressed up, but Queen Chessmon is actually a completely different body structure and everything? It's like, what should we do for the males? I don't care, I'll do anything. What should we do for the females? This. It's like, okay. I don't get it, but okay.
The case. However, some outsider picks I really like instead of King Chessmon is King Etamon. That could be funny. Lord Nightmon could work for either, and even Craniumon. But there comes this fine point with these like silly thought experiment videos between like, am I just changing this for the sake of changing it? And I think in this instance, using anything but Queen Chessmon and King Chessmon just doesn't make much sense. Plus, you know, King Chessmon's a little guy, and Pawn Chessmon a little guy. Warp digivolving to him makes some sense to me. Marcus's dad is partnered with a Bancho Leomon. It's already a Mega. So I'm just going to use this opportunity to throw out a video idea. I like to do that sometimes. I was wondering if people would be interested in a Bancho Evolution Lines video. Part of me always just pictured the Bancho Digimon digivolving or warp digivolving from the non-Bancho form. So for example, Leomon would warp digivolve to Bancho Leomon, but Lilymon would just conventionally digivolve to Bancho Lilymon, and you're going at one stage. To me, it's like the original Digimon, so Leomon, Lilymon, Mamemon, etc. undergo like the Bancho requirements and then just become the Bancho form. But if you do want to see evolution any ideas for those, let me know. Also not going to cover Karata's partner. He only technically has a Belphemon as a partner, kind of, and Gizmon don't have any forms, though. If you wanted to, Proto Gizmon could warp Digivolve to Algomon Mega. Check out the short I did on that last week. And the Bio Digimon are a very different